Good evening, my little bulldogs. I am here to read another bedtime story, and tonight we're going to read Freddie and Frito and the Clubhouse Rules. All right, and this is by Allison Friend. All right. Freddie and Frito played together every day. Some days they played at Freddy's, where it was big and full of space. 1, 2, 3. Jumping jelly beans, they screamed. But there were rules. Don't make a mess, shouted Freddy's mom, and keep the noise down. One day they played at Frito's, where it was noisy and crowded with stuff everywhere. Ahoy, you landlubbers, hollered Captain Freddy. Hand over your cookies, screamed one-eyed Frito. Rockstar pirates to the rescue. But there were rules. Don't use my PJs for a sail, Frito's dad yelled. And don't forget to include your sister. One very noisy day, Frito called Freddie. Can I come over and play? But Freddie's mom had just cleaned, and Great Aunt Bernice was coming over for lunch. I'm sorry, Frito, Freddie said. My mom said no. Oh, drat, said Frito. How about we meet in the park instead? They met under a tree in the park exactly halfway between. It was 86 steps from Freddie's house and 124 steps from Frito's. But Frito's legs were a little bit shorter, of course. They searched for the perfect spot. I wish we had a place of our own, said Freddie. A place that isn't always tiny or too crowded, said Frito. And somewhere not too small, said Freddie. Or too noisy, said Frito. Or too dark. Why don't we build a clubhouse in this tree, said Freddie. A place where we can play our games, shout and scream, or even take a nap. A place with no rules, squealed Frito. Definitely no rules, said Freddie. No rules. They began to collect things. Frito's mom gave them a big cardboard box and let Frito take his favorite cooking pot. Great Aunt Bernice gave Freddie some yellow curtains, and Uncle Monty found them a tattered umbrella. Kind Miss Winkle from across the street donated cushions, some blankets, and half a bicycle. They got to work. First they made walls from the cardboard, leaving holes for windows. Then came a roof in case it rained. Next they banged 2 pieces of wood together to make a door. Soon the place was shaping up. We'll put my bed right here, said Freddie. My pirate ship too, said Frito. That's too big, yelled Freddie. A pirate ship is supposed to be big, Frito yelled back. Your yellow curtains are giving me a headache, Frito complained. And your cooking pot is disgusting and stinky, said Freddie. Then he tossed the pot out the door into the mud. That's rude, Frito cried, and he pulled down the yellow curtains and jumped up and down on them. And then he ran home crying. There's not enough room in our clubhouse for all of our stuff, Frito told his mom. And Freddie thinks his things are more important than mine. He threw my cooking pot into the mud. Oh, sweet pea, said his mom. Houses are never big enough. She gave him a big hug. Freddie ran home too. All the stuff we need won't fit inside our clubhouse, Mom, he explained. And Freddie's things are big and smelly. Then Freddie burst out crying too. His mom gave him a squeeze and told him that all best friends fight, but that they always work things out. It's so sweet. The next day, they both came back with the same idea. Let's make the place bigger, said Frito. A lot bigger, said Freddie. Big enough for your pirate ship and my bed. And they both agreed, big enough for a huge party. They worked and worked, and they worked all day. Finally, it was finished. Freddie delivered invitations for a clubhouse warming party to take place that very afternoon. Frito made lemonade and mud pies. The weather was perfect. At 4 o'clock, there was a line of guests winding out of the park gates and around the block. Everyone wanted to see inside the clubhouse. No one knew what to expect. The party guests were having a great time. No rules, no rules, squealed Frito's cousins, throwing mud pies at each other. Frito tried hard not to watch his delicious mud pies going to waste, and Freddie tended to a crying hedgehog. Both boys could hardly believe that their eyes when a Tiggy Winkle blew her nose on the curtains. At 4 o'clock, there was a line of guests winding out the park gates and around. Oops, I flipped the wrong way. Let's try again. Want to play Rockstar Pirates? Freddie asked Frito. But Uncle Monty was singing opera to a ship full of squirrels, while the twins from next door slid down the mast, taking the sail down with them. How about jumping jelly beans? Asked Frito. But Cousin Barnaby was bouncing on the bed with the Badger brothers and their very muddy paws. Oh no, said both boys when they noticed that the short-sighted neighbor Douglas had mistaken Frito's cooking pot for a bathtub. A bathtub? We need an emergency meeting, declared Frito, so both boys scrambled up to the top floor. And he's taking his bath. My goodness, what a mess. They have a mess in their clubhouse. What can we do, Freddie? We can't play our own games. It's way too noisy. Everyone's being crazy. When will they all go home? How could they get the guests to leave? They're thinking hard. They had the perfect idea. They found Frito's cooking pot and made their guests a special dinner. 1 bucket of pond water, said Frito. An old shoe, a dead fish, said Freddie, and throw in some moldy cheese. Frito stirred the stinky mixture, and Freddie set the table with the yellow curtain. Ooh. You must stay and eat with us, everybody, shouted Freddie. It's clubhouse special stew. And before Frito dished out the first bowl, the guests began to leave. Sorry, boys, we have to get your sister to bed, said Frito's mom. Sorry, our dad said be back by 6, said the Badger brothers. Thank you for inviting me, but I think I left my oven on, said Great Aunt Bernice. They're all heading out from the stinky smell of the soup. Now everyone was gone, and the clubhouse had just the right amount of noise and just the right amount of quiet. They played jumping jelly beans and Rockstar Pirates and even took a snooze. Maybe we should have just one rule, said Freddie. They both thought for a minute and then gave each other a wink. That was the only rule they needed. And that was Freddie and Frito rule. The end. I hope you guys all enjoyed your bedtime story, and I look forward to reading you another one on Monday night. I hope you all have sweet dreams and a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.